The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 236th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz, and I'm the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, back from Las Vegas, Nevada, back from Double or Nothing, we have my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how is you doing? How was your time in Vegas?
It was great. It was fun. I had a great time hanging out with the Summer Wheezies. Got to hang out with JR and saw him drink and eat more than any human I've ever seen drink and eat in my life. That dude ate and drank so much Sunday, he made me not hungry. I got full from him eating and drinking. It was a sight to behold. I literally wanted him to put him in an eating competition because every second that I saw him, he was either drinking something new or eating something new. It was pretty epic. Just had a good time. It was a very short trip to Las Vegas this year. Next time I'll be there, maybe for WrestleMania. We'll see how that works out. But, I was very happy to be there. Very happy to be at Double or Nothing. 5 years, 5 years anniversary of Double or Nothing.
Yeah, 5-year anniversary of AEW.
5-year anniversary of AEW. And just you listen to 236 shows. I tried to Google. I don't see any other AEW podcasts at 100. Not even at 100. We're at 236. No one else is at 100. Dude.
Yeah.
Lapped the field a couple times at this point. You listening to the official fan pack podcast of AEW. No, it's not. We're not in any one related to AEW, but so we've been here longer, period. What have we done better than everybody else? Keep going. That's it.
Yep.
So
we've lasted the longest. We have the willpower, we have the stamina.
Dude, you're Forrest and I'm Lieutenant Dan,
Yes.
Our ship just didn't sink. That's all that happened.
There you go. Well, we got a lot to talk about, obviously, with Double or Nothing taking place. An insane show that, if I'm going to be honest, rectified last year's Double or Nothing, which was a bit of a disappointment. I think we can all agree, just a little bit. It was still a fun show, but this show went above and beyond, I think, in a lot of aspects. And we're going to go through our review of the entire show while also touching upon the last Dynamite, I should say, that aired in Los Angeles at the Kia Forum this past Wednesday. So we'll quickly go through that. But before we get into everything, we want to make sure you guys are downloading this fine show on Google or Apple Podcasts, or I should say YouTube Music or Apple Podcasts, and whatever platform you listen to us on, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Please give us a share with your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever you wish, and rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. You can follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible and have a bunch of incredible shows you guys should check out on their network. And I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ, and Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Now, the biggest news of the week coming out of Double or Nothing weekend is the unfortunate news of Adam Copeland, and it's weird. I'll lump this in there too. It's the unfortunate news about Adam Copeland, and I should say the return of the one and only MJF. When one megastar comes back to AEW, we lose another megastar. The injury bug, as we've all known with AEW and pro wrestling in a lot of instances, it's been terrible. Like AEW has been suffering, I think, a lot of lack of some of their biggest stars because of injury. And a lot of the depth that we credited AEW's roster for having has dried up because of injury. So MJF coming back, huge. And we'll touch on his return when we get to it. But Adam Copeland getting hurt. He broke his tibia, unfortunately, broke his foot and on his ankle. And we'll talk about the spot that did it. It's brutal. Like, honestly, he was going nuts being the TNT champion and, like, seemed like everything was starting to go. And just worst timing up for that injury.
Dude, he, in the AEW, he gets, they let their wrestlers control their information about their injuries. He did a Twitter video. Basically, he's like, he had been doing so good, having so much fun, he forgot how old he was.
And he said he got cocky.
Yeah, got cocky. Forgot how old he was. And even on the spot, when he did the spot, I was like, why is he doing this spot?
Yes.
Because it was such a good match up to then. I just didn't, this is not hindsight 2020. This is while he was climbing. I said to JR, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Because, it's like, dude, you're Adam Copeland, y'all were putting on a bloody, violent match. You got people in the company for that. Though there are people in the company that, you expect to do that spot. Darby Allin, if Jungle Boy was in there. Sammy Guevara when he's around. Those are people like, oh, you have to do that spot because I expect those type of spots out of you. Adam Copeland, man, keep your ass on the ground, man. I mean, you can do this Sting fall thing, but keep your ass on the ground. We want you around. We want you healthy.
Yeah, we would like you to stick around.
We want you playing with your kids and stuff. So, I mean, there are people, hey, I am definitely not risk averse in wrestling. But once you get to a certain age and a certain part where, you might feel good, but your bones are still 50, So, now, it's one of those things, if he walked away from it, you would have never heard me say anything again. But
sure,
he happened to get injured, so now we're going to have, looks like a vacant title. So we'll talk about that.
And we're going to talk about what the future is for the TNT title moving forward. So we got a lot to get to with that. But moving into Double or Nothing, we'll start things off with quickly going through the buy-in matches. We had La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa versus the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. These girls getting the chance to open the show, I think, was huge. I thought they honestly did a really good job. The crowd was already so hyped. Once their match started, they were ready to go. And I thought they did a really, really solid job in this buy-in match. A match that very well, if given a little bit more time and ability to be showcased, could be on the main card just because of the talent that's in the ring between them. Match-wise, I thought just really nice heel work from Deonna Purrazzo. I think she fits so well in this role as opposed to the kind of babyface that she was when she came in. I think she fits well more in this role. Thunder Rosa, I thought, continues to shine. I love the fact that we just get her in the ring more now, that she's able to wrestle. Deonna Purrazzo, though, she shoved off the ropes when she was tied up in a Cobra clutch. She was able to apply a cradle, and while she had the ropes, she was able to get the pin on Thunder Rosa to steal one. And big win for Deonna Purrazzo over Thunder Rosa to open up the buy-in of Double or Nothing. I like the fact that this opened up not the full, the main show, but just the whole night together. I think the girls came out and just really set the tone for what I thought most of the show was going to be like.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I think they do have really good chemistry, and it definitely felt like this was the next in a series of matches. So I'm imagining the next match is going to be like a last man standing cage match, something along those lines.
Some sort of gimmick, yeah.
I would love to see what I don't think we've seen in AEW, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Austin, if your memory is strong. I don't think we've seen a women's Texas death match.
Women's one. I know we've seen plenty of women's. We've seen a lot of women's big matches. No, we have not seen a women's Texas death match. In AEW, we have had 3 Texas death matches, I should say. At least from this listing, it says Lance Archer, John Moxley, Adam Cole, Adam Page, and then Adam Page, John Moxley.
Yeah, I think the only way to solve this women's feud, the first ever women's Texas death match.
Yeah. Oh, and then, of course, Ricky Starks and Danielson, and then Orange Cassidy and Matt Taven.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make it terrible. I mean, if we don't get Thunder, and Deanna, which I think they would kill it, right? And I think that's the way you go. Stat and Willow, if eventually down the road. Either one of those feuds seem like pretty ripe for a good old Texas death match.
Right, yeah. No, they could absolutely kill it with that opportunity. We also had in the buy-in an announcement about the Owen Hart Cup, basically the Owen Hart Foundation Cup. They said basically now the winners of both the men and the women's Owen will get world title shots. Which to me is kind of weird that wasn't a thing to begin with. You know what I mean? Like they got the belts and they got the cup itself, but the fact that wasn't already a thing, I thought that was a thing for some reason, and it wasn't.
So the Owen to me is very much comparison to the King and the Queen of the Ring. Right. I mean that's the comp, right? When the King of the Ring started, you didn't get a title shot; you just won. You were the king for the rest of the year, and they worked it into a king gimmick. And then eventually, when I think it was the Brock Lesnar year, when he beat The Rock for the title at SummerSlam, that was the first year they did it for the title. So I kind of see rolling it out for a couple of years and then raising the stakes. Because once you raise the stakes, you can't lower the stakes. You know what I mean? So, so you raise the stakes, and we get a good tournament. And it was funny because I was like, oh man, we're going to get a TNT title tournament. But I realized they're already about to do a tournament. So you probably don't want 2 tournaments going at the same time. Yeah,
exactly. So they have determined that, first of all, the finals are going to be on July 10th at the Saddle Dome in Alberta, Calgary, Alberta. And then the winners will get world title shots that will take place at AEW All in London.
Yeah, baby. London, baby. I bought my London ticket. I bought my London tickets this week.
I was going to say, they're setting up big time for that one.
And I was setting up, I was just going to little detour. I was really excited about London. I told you about the Florida State game before, right? Well, last night I went and looked up the Florida State tickets. Oh my God, they are fleecing those people. 745 pounds or euros, because it's in Ireland. 745 euros for like a 300 and 500 seat.
Oh my God.
I have never paid that much to go to a college football game. I've been to a lot of Florida State games, like a lot. I was like, oh my God, this is just to get in the building? Oh,
no, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll probably be going to visit friends while that game is going on. I was like, jaw dropped, like, what? I did not know what to do with that. Yeah, that was crazy.
What you do with that is you pass it to the side and be like, y'all handle that. I'm not going to be involved with that.
I was to say, and unless we get some good 5th anniversary presents, I'm probably gonna
for real.
I'm probably gonna be skipping that one.
Yeah. Right. And then we had the trios match between the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, versus the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. And this was all right. I thought this was pretty fun. I thought they got some nice work in there. I love the fact that we got that dumb Golden Knights mascot back, the one that was swerving while he was driving before he got like completely decapitated the last time they were in Vegas. I don't know. I love that stupid little thing. But I thought this was all right. It was pretty fun. The Billy Gunn was able to cradle up Bishop Khan to get the victory for the Acclaimed. And yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fine buy-in match, and then just led into the start of the show.
The Cage of Agony. Such a good name.
It is a good name, yeah.
It sounds like somewhere you go when you've done something wrong. Like, oh, you stole this? Oh, you got to go to the Cage of Agony. Yeah, it sounded cool. I love it. I love the name. Now I just wish I wish Brian Cage got to win more. I'm bored. I'm big on when Brian Cage should win all the time. So yeah, it's kind of. I think I'm the only one on that boat other than Brian Cage. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Thought it was fun. It gave the Acclaim a win, which then makes sense going into what looks like it's about to start of an angle on Dynamite. So yeah, at the time I was like, why? I mean, because they had been like teasing that Max Caster and Anthony Bowens were going their separate ways, that they were going to start doing individual matches. So I was like, man, this would be a great win for the Cage of Agony. And, as they actually, if you're trying to actually build up three-man teams or six-man teams. But yeah, they went a different way. So after Dynamite, I was like, oh, now I understand. So that's a good reason for us. That's a good vote for us doing the pay-per-view after the next show, because some of the stuff at the pay-per-view that might not have made sense now makes sense once the next show comes in.
Yeah, no, I think that ties in pretty well there.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the main card, which was kicked off with the AEW International Championship match. Roderick Strong versus the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. Oh, Will Ospreay opening the show. Holy shit. Like, I love the fact that the Undisputed Kingdom does their little pose, and then Will Ospreay literally tried to hidden blade Roderick right when he was in the pose, which I thought was awesome. They were beating the shit out of each other. Roderick was getting some damn good chops in there. Wardlow came in at a certain point, getting ready to powerbomb him, and then he was gonna do it, but then bumped into the referee, and then the Wardlow ends up getting ejected because he can't see where the referee is. Roderick, there's a point in the match later on where Ospreay's got Roderick Strong beat up very badly, and it looks like the ref he hits an Oz cutter that looks devastatingly good. Ref stops the match for a moment to check on Strong, and then Don Callis is telling him to you got him hurt. He's vulnerable. Tiger Driver, finish it now. And Ospreay was getting himself hyped up. He even pushes the ref out of the way to get ready to do the Tiger Driver, but eventually decides, no, I'm not going to do that. It looks like he's going to get caught with that by getting hit with the Gust Buster and then the running boot, but he's able to kick out. Ospreay then is able to get out of the end of Heartache, and then Hidden Blade, Stormbreaker gets the victory, and Will Ospreay is the new AEW International Champion. I mean, huge, obviously. Sure. The moment that you saw Ospreay get a title match, I'm like, he's winning. They are gassing this man up to the moon for good reason, because
the rocket is strapped directly to his back.
Directly, you could basically say he is a rocket. He doesn't even have a rocket strapped to him. He just is a rocket.
So first of all, going into this match, I want to shout out to all the 6,000 something people that were at Double. Yeah. It felt like 10, and I've been in the building when there was 6 and 10. It felt like 10.
Yes, yes. I think there was a lot. Remember last year, a lot of people were talking about how that Vegas crowd, which we were in, and we gave our all into that crowd, no question. Me, you, Sydney, Jared, everybody that was there gave our all into that crowd. But the crowd wasn't as good as we would have liked it to have been last year. I think with how much Vegas was getting talked down about, they need to move Double or Nothing from Vegas. They were like, okay, now we're gonna show out.
Yeah, the Ospreay entrance with Ospreay. Yeah, it was. He sounded like the biggest star on the planet. He does. He sounds like when they come in and they start the music, and it's like I know the Ospreay is in the music, but it comes through so much louder from the people than it does the music, and it's such a experience to be at. Ospreay feels like a different level of star. And then the match, I mean, you got Roddy Strong, one of the best. and you got Will Ospreay. Now, I will say this. Will Ospreay, one of the best in-ring workers like in the world right now, if not the best. Roddy Strong, top tier, solid worker, right? The interference made sense for the story they had been telling up to the show. But god dang it, I just wish we just got Will Ospreay versus Roddy Strong. Don't get me wrong. I love interference. Interference is wrestling. You know, it is his professional wrestling. But with what you saw going on in the rest of the show, it would have liked to have maybe they did something at the beginning and got tossed, and then Will and Roderick just did the thing.
Well, no, and then, like, too, if you're going to have interference, too, like, I'm sorry, I need Matt Taven to be able to actively jump over the top ropes, because he tripped himself up trying to do the dive over the top rope and landed awkwardly, and then Ospreay basically landed on the crown of his forehead. Oh,
God. So let me tell you, I love the outside of the rope doomsday device. And I would love to see it in ROH tag team matches, in world title matches. And if you have, I don't want to see that just in a regular match, regular spot. I don't. I think it, first of all, the move has a shock and awe to it, right? You're doing a doomsday device on the outside of the ring. So, of course, you don't want to see it too much. Second of all, it was just like, it just felt like, oh, this is terrible. Like, you know, how they landed. I'm glad everybody seems to be okay, but it's just, you don't, like, I don't want that just thrown out there. I don't want that move. It's a big move. It's one of my favorite spots, especially that Taven and Bennett do. But, man, to have that done to you and just come back and wrestle the match like you're in a match, you know what I mean? It just seems like it almost wasted the spot to a point. So, that's just my take. But the match was done. The Stormbreaker Tiger Driver thing. The thing is, I prefer the Stormbreaker. So when Donna's yelling, do the Tiger Driver, this whole storyline is lost on me. I understand the story they're trying to tell. It just doesn't bring any emotion from me because I prefer the Stormbreaker. You know, that's the move I like more. So it's like, why does he need to do the Tiger Driver? The Stormbreaker pins people, so it doesn't matter. So that is just one thing, that storyline in general is just not identifying with me right now. But the rest, yeah, the match was good. It's Will Ospreay. But I got to say, I've been at all three of his pay-per-view matches. It was the worst. Yeah.
Which is hard. Which to say this was the worst, though, is pretty insane. No,
he did 5. He did 5 stars with Takeshi. I think it was like 5 1/4, 5.5. Then he did 6.75 with Bryan Danielson. Yeah, it was gonna suck. It was gonna be the worst one, no matter what.
No question. Afterwards, though, after Ospreay wins the international championship, the head of the Undisputed Kingdom, the leader, Adam Cole, unannounced, comes out to the ring, and he talks about how he shouldn't even be out here. I should be checking on Roderick Strong and hanging out with the Undisputed Kingdom. Shouldn't be in this city. Should be home rehabbing my ankle. You have no idea what I've been through. I still get disrespected. And when I am 100%, you will give the devil his dues. And then as that happens, lights go out, pops up on the screen, and we walk into this little room that's shown on the screen, and it's a room filled with MJF stuff as the symphonic version of MJF's theme is being played. And, like, first of all, this man has a fucking full-size picture of him whipping Cody Rhodes on his wall. Like, do we need to talk about that? Like, this man's got a full goddamn picture of him whipping another man on his wall. And he's got basically, like, pieces of history from every single iconic thing that he's been a part of, from the Nightmare family jacket that he's got to the dog collar that he's got, and a whole bunch of other things. And he pulls off his ring, he grabs his scarf, and then the MJF's music hits and he comes out rocking the, like, literally Triple H 2002 era return denim jacket in his return, and he's ripped as fuck too coming out. And he comes out looks at Adam Cole. They hug, and then he low blows him and proceeds to go off. Goes off. So many things. He kicks out Adam Cole out of the ring, and he said, I gave you something that I'd never given anyone else before, trust, and now that shit ain't happening ever again. And, you didn't take out MJF, you just woke him up. I know exactly who the hell I am now, the greatest wrestler on God's green earth. And he said, I'm MJF, I'm better than you and you know it, but why is that? Because unlike Adam Cole and all those other schmucks in the back, I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF because MJF made MJF. And then he's back to the salt of the earth now. No more haha, no more friendship, no more kangaroo kicks, no more bullshit. Back to being driven by what I'm best driven by, hate, hate, hate. And he picks up the devil mask that Adam Cole brought out and said, masks are adorned by cowards who want to hide, and I'm done hiding and apologizing. I am the best and no one is more complete than me. I don't need a mask to prove that no one is on the level of the devil. This stupid, goofy mask that symbolizes the tail end of 2023, this dumb mask and everything it symbolizes can go straight to hell. And then he said, I've been betting on myself since day one. I'm all in, double or nothing. So in regards to my contract status, if it wasn't already painfully obvious, Marks, to quote one of the all-time greats, cameraman, zoom in. And you see a tattoo on his lower ankle that says bet on yourself, and it has an AEW poker chip on it. And he says, when it comes to MJF and AEW, you might as well call me the Wolf of Wrestling because I'm not fucking leaving. So MJF has made it abundantly clear. He is all in on AEW. He's AEW ride or die. This man got paid, and he is back in AEW. And, I mean, like I said, top of the show, huge. Like, it is massively understated how much this company needed this man back. Because MJF is a megastar. MJF is one of the biggest names in AEW. He is the AEW original that has shined the brightest, I feel like, more than anybody. This guy has taken every opportunity that was given to him from All In 2018 to now, and he has made it gangbusters. From the shit that, like, was some of the best stuff in the company to him being able to do dumb like stuff like kangaroo kicks and all this other weird stuff, and yet it was over as hell. So having MJF back, like, massive. I wish I was there when he came out because, oh my God, that crowd went unglued when he came out.
Yeah, and we all knew it was coming. We knew
once Adam Cole came out, you knew here we go.
Yeah, but everybody was just. But they did the thing where they showed the video package where it looked like it was perfectly done because they teased the shit out of us because it looked like they were just going to play the video package and then Cole was going to leave confused because the noise went and they took the camera away and then then the music hits. I was like, yes. Like, oh my God. So yeah, it was perfectly done. MJF, the man is back. He is no longer a pillar. He has been upgraded. That man is the foundation of AEW, baby.
Oh,
you don't need no damn, he ain't no pillar because you just need him. You only need him as the foundation of AEW. One of the best on the mic. He's right there with everyone else in the ring. MJF and Will Ospreay whenever that fucking happens. Oh my, because the Will Ospreay thing happened and then it led to this and I was like, we're going to get Will Ospreay and MJF, but when? You know, that kind of thing. That's like one of the things that went through my mind. Oh God. So no, I am so excited about MJF coming back. It's star power and it's even the best kind of star power. It's your homegrown star power. Now, I love every signing that AEW has had. Don't get me wrong. But the idea that you can bring back someone that's been on your roster, been a world champion, and get that pop. Think about the pop Hangman's going to get. Whether he comes back as face, heel, whatever he comes back, just think of the pop Hangman's about to get. And that's the level that we're on, is the MJF and Hangman level, you know, when it comes to these wrestlers. So, yeah, get them in something hot. Don't waste time, you know, get him in something that matters. I'm guessing he's going to be in the Owen. You know, and that'll be great if he's in that. Especially if he wins it. Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah. So no, I am looking forward to the MJF, and basically, you know, it's almost like he was trying to present a new character, but really he's just going back to his old character, which is always funny. Because this is how AEW works, and I say they have to deal with it all the time. They have to figure out their way around it, right? When you do your job as a heel really well, right? When you do your job as a real heel really well, you become a face in AEW.
Yes.
The problem is fans start cheering you, and then the people start doing good things. They start trying to act like a good guy. No, the fans will keep cheering you if you keep doing shitty stuff. Like when MJF was calling everybody marks and talking about how terrible and pores and all that stuff, and people were still
like, "Yay!"
Yeah. So don't go away from that. Lean in. You know, let MJF be this terrible person because people seem to love him being a terrible person.
1,000%. People wouldn't spend all this money on cameos for them to shit talk you if they didn't like that from Jump Street. So we get he is still our scumbag, and now he's being a scumbag. Yes. So that's the biggest thing. So massive, 1,000% massive. We transition over to the Unified World Trios Championship match between the Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle. This match was fast paced, crazy fun. The DDT that Jay White gave Pac was fucking vicious. Was so damn good. That alone was nuts.
That was one of the better DDTs I've seen.
I know, it was so good. Like it was like literally like Pac sold the hell out of it. I loved it.
Dude, if y'all and I'll say this, I don't say this much about moves, but yeah, if you're not doing anything, you're bored, just go watch that DDT. Watch how Jay drops them. Watch how Pac takes it. It's why Pac is just so special.
1,000%.
Yeah.
The Guns were entertaining as hell, being just shitty heels and everything like that, and just like walking themselves into getting the shit kicked out of them. But of course, the biggest thing from this match was, as it looked like Pac was going to go for the Black Arrow, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Juice Robinson comes over, quickly knocks Pac off the top turnbuckle. He did it so fast, a lot of people missed it. Like, he just went and just did it, and then was hiding, and then Blade Runner from Jay White to Pac, and the Bang Bang Gang retains the Unified World Trios Championships, and the Juice is finally back. We haven't seen him since he was seen in the background of that one Bang Bang Gang video where they were talking shit about Darby Allin, and then they had the skeleton fly down the slide in the pool. He was just randomly in the background of that video. But now Juice Robinson's back. Another huge return that I think is massive for AEW because Juice is so good. So the Bang Bang Gang is in its entirety now.
Dude, he adds something to that group. I will say this. It's two people in the world. There's people that realize how good the Guns are and the people that don't. Because the little things that they do, like little things, like the way they sell, the expressions, the over-animated drops, that kind of stuff, they add to everything in their match. I'm just such a big fan of the Guns. And it's, like I said, it's just has to do with they're one of those people that they're not, like, I guess, super exciting, because they're not supposed to be. They're the bad guys. So if you see how Colton and Austin, how they'll, like, faint over and get up and all that stuff, they're so athletic that they make everything that looks happen to them looks like 20 times more devastating than it is. And, you know, Jay White's kind of the understated leader. He's cocky, but he's kind of quiet in his cockiness or whatever. And you have the Guns that serve their purpose, and they're going to do the gun thing and all that stuff. But every group needs a wild card. And finally, the Juice is back in the building to steal a line from Juventud Guerrera. So, yes, I am very excited about Juice. He's one of those people especially Jay White and Juice as a tag team, of course, fond of them. But he's one of those people that it does not matter if he ever wins. Look at him. He's big. He's the wild man. It's like he doesn't care. He can take every pin for the Bang Bang Gang ever, and it will never affect him because Juice brings just a whole new level of entertainment to the show. And he's the final miss of the Bang Bang Gang, and he has been missed.
Massively missed. I love the fact that that Juice is back. I think that's massive. And then we'll move over now to the AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Toni Storm versus the Professor Serena Deeb. I'm going to say this right now as somebody who loves Serena Deeb to death. Oh my God, this crowd did not care about her. Like when she came out, they did not care about her. But as she got going and showed how damn good she is as a wrestler, then all of a sudden I felt like they really started coming down her way. But man, when she came out though, the pop was nothing.
They were hot. We were hot for the last half of this match, but up until the last half, it was pretty fucking quiet. This is one of those things not where you don't pivot, and where AEW has to learn they have to pivot. Toni Storm is over now, right? She's so over, she can literally make fun of a woman having seizures and still get cheered.
Yes.
At this point in time, Serena has to be more evil because no face is going to get over at this point.
Well, I will say right now, I do like what they're doing with her group, because there's a point in the match where Serena Deeb, late in the match, has got a submission on. I believe she's got the detox, I think, or no, she was using a submission on her knee basically, and it looked like Mariah May was trying to throw in the towel, but Luther was trying to stop her. But then once Luther pulls the towel away and Storm is able to get back to the ropes, she sees Luther holding the towel and calls him a bastard, and then takes the towel and throws it over the barricade. Basically, Mariah May was trying to throw in the towel to cost Toni Storm the match, and Luther gets blamed for it all.
And it played in perfectly well, because
absolutely
in Serena Deeb's match with Mariah May, remember what Toni Storm did? She threw in the towel.
Yeah.
So
she was not okay with that.
Yes. And Mariah May acted like she was okay, but she wasn't. And she was like, you threw in the towel on me, I'm going to throw in the towel on you.
And remember, they teased the fact about her wanting the world title match, and like Toni Storm was like, I see what you were trying to do. Was this your whole plan the whole time? And in a sense, maybe it was. So those pieces are there, and I think is going to be massive when the turn happens. But that being said, yes, like you said, they should have pivoted a little bit more with Serena Deeb.
She should have been nasty. You know, Toni Storm can stay being a bad person, and then Serena Deeb just be worse. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because they were, anyone short of maybe Britt Baker and Rio, nobody's getting cheered when you're wrestling Toni Storm. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's just not happening.
She's that hot right now. It's just nuclear hot. I mean,
yeah,
it's
great. It's so great to see, because again, she's spectacular. But I will say too, like I said, when this match got going, like I think you really saw why Serena Deeb would get an opportunity like this to begin with, because I truly believe, other than the fact that I don't think her promos were that great leading up to this feud, man, when she gets in the ring, she's better than most. Yeah, like she's so good.
She's the professor.
Damn straight, dude. Like,
she's a trainer. She's all the things. I know.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, almost like you wonder, like when she kind of calls it, like she needs to be AEW's head female trainer.
So they have the Deeb Dojo, right?
Yes.
They need to put a couple of these young people on her. Anna Jay uses the sleeper submission, right?
Yeah.
I think she would work well in the Deeb Dojo.
I agree.
And that's all I was saying. I was like, you might want to expand on it. You know, the whole thing is getting, I've been on this thought process, getting women in factions and grouping them together just gets more people on TV. And Anna Jay, I feel like, just needs something to keep her regularly on TV. Because I think, that, the potential to be the woman in AEW is there for Anna Jay. It's just, she just needs to be on TV, get the reps, that kind of thing. So putting her with a group like a Deep Dojo and then adding someone else seems like it would work really well.
Yeah, no, I think that could really give her something to do and would just improve the women's roster too, for tremendously. I think if they would do stuff like that. We then get the grudge match between Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. And first of all, new theme for Trent Beretta, which I thought was cool. And then we had Orange Cassidy come out to Where Is My Mind, which was a lovely return. And also the I'm gonna punch Trent in the face on the screen. Great. I thought Trent got a lot of great heel work in this match. And the pile driver on the apron was vicious. I thought that was really well done. But as Trent was able to get a triangle choke to counter the orange punch, Orange Cassidy rolls through off of the bottom rope, pins Trent, and gets the victory. And he walks out, and Rocky Romero actually comes and checks on him. And Trent's just like, I'm not doing this. I'm done. He shoves Rocky, and then he leaves. So Orange Cassidy gets the victory. Now, I will say, on Dynamite, they continued this a little bit, I will say, with this storyline. But in the moment, I was just like, well, that's the death of the best friends. That's the death of us seeing Trent or Chuck Taylor doing anything. You know what I mean? I was just like, well, now what do we do? Because I was like, Trent needed this. You know what I mean? This
was a Dynamite match on a pay-per-view. It was like the execution, everything about it was a Dynamite match. But I sent Austin a message. I was like, Trent's fucking giving away the ending. And Austin's like, what happened? And I was like, well, I'll let you watch. Do you see what I meant by he was giving away the ending?
No, I did not.
What color was his gear?
Oh, was it red?
And black.
Yep.
What color does Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher wear?
Yeah.
He told me the ending right there. I thought they were just going to do it at Double or Nothing because I was like, they can't just do a regular match at this show. They can't do a regular match. And they did do a regular match. And I was like, dude. And then they kind of saved it into Dynamite. And I was just like, why didn't they just do it at the show?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
No, but yeah, this match was like, I remember everybody was like, I remember I'm sitting next to JR and his brother and Eva, and we watched the match, and we're all looking at each other like, that's it? Because we thought something was going to happen.
I know.
And nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. It was just the match. That, even Orange Cassidy, who's like, hey, I'm going to, mess this guy's up, and then wins with a roll-up. You know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't ring too well. Like, it didn't feel like that match moved the storyline along in any way. And then, Wednesday happened. But we'll talk about that when Wednesday gets here.
Yes. And again, it's just, it's frustrating for me, obviously, as a guy who said from Jump Street, I did not really want best friends to break up. And it just felt like, like they tried to get this a little bit gassed, but it really, what Floyd said, it was a Dynamite match on a pay-per-view. And that's disappointing, considering Orange Cassidy.
We don't get that. That's not the standard.
No, it's not the standard for AEW, and it's disappointing considering who's involved.
Yeah, because I'm like, I liked both these guys. And like I said, Trent this has nothing to do with the people. Trent has, anytime he's been in the spot, anytime they put him in the spot, hit a home run. I'm not dissing Trent. This is not about Trent.
No.
It is not about Orange Cassidy because Orange Cassidy's one of the biggest stars in it was just about the match and the execution of it, as in, I think what you were trying to get through there, it was just like, I don't know. It just didn't seem, this match should have been, like, to me, on either the pre-show or...
Yeah, like, I don't understand why Serena Deeb and Deonna Purrazzo, they get placed into the buy-in for, like, what's considered, like, it could be considered a Dynamite match on a pay-per-view, but it was on the buy-in. But Orange Cassidy and Trent, they get more of a billing, and, like, you could have swapped it. You know what I mean?
Correct. Absolutely.
So, I don't know. It's disappointing, but I still think it was a good match, and we at least got some continuation of the story moving forward on Dynamite, which we'll get to. Then we get the three-way FTW Championship match between the Learning Tree Chris Jericho, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. Honestly, like, I thought this match was pretty all right. I thought the work that they did in this was pretty cool. I thought Big Bill coming in for the point of the match, though, was pretty cool. And then when they were using the kendo sticks, and Jericho had a kendo stick, and so did the other two, but Jericho's kendo stick was not affecting Hook or Shibata, and then they just beat the shit out of him. I thought it was great. Big Bill gets put through a table when he comes in, and he nearly gets impaled. Like, he was inches away from the leg of the table going directly into his spine. Like, that man, like, is so crazy lucky from that. That shit looked terrifying when I was like, oh my God, that spot nearly ended in the worst possible way. Thankfully, table broke, and it created an unbelievable image, I will say. And as they do the moment where Shibata is in the walls of Jericho, and then he hits a figure four, Hook has the red rum, and it's doing the thing where both of them have a submission on at the same time, but then a man dressed in black comes in and jumps everybody with a trash can, and then places Shibata in the trash can, hits a standing senton, and it's Brian Keith, the bounty hunter himself. Hook hits Keith with a kendo stick, but that allows Jericho to get enough time to hit the Judas effect on Hook, and he pins Shibata to get the win and retain the FTW championship. And another person has come to sit under the learning tree that is Chris Jericho, enter the vortex of Jericho, and it is the bounty hunter, Brian Keith. I thought this match was all right. I thought it had like one of the most memorable moments with, like I said, Big Bill nearly dying. I think it's cool to see Brian Keith now doing some stuff. And this was all right. I thought this was solid.
Dude, this was awesome. I really enjoyed this match because Jericho is like, I have come like 180 on this whole learning tree thing. And I just thought the match, the dice, him pouring out the dice, them throwing the dice at him, that made me laugh. Hook's big move. Hook and they did the finish tease from before that they did on Brian Keith, and then that leads to Brian Keith coming in and saving Jericho. It was like, oh my God, yeah, they were on their game. I felt like the whoever put this match together was on their game because, you know, you teased that moment, and that was the moment that Brian Keith tapped, and then you come back and you're like, oh, here you go. Here's even more to remind you of what happened. So, yeah, definitely was all about this. And, the way Jericho won it, it was kind of like I did it all on my own. Beautiful, beautiful match. I just really enjoyed it. I'm probably higher on it than other people are just because I thought like the little stories inside of this match. Like I said, Brian Keith's spot where he tapped out, where he lost his FTW shot to a double tap out. Brian Keith comes in, breaks up the double tap out, and helps Jericho keep the title. Yeah,
it's a nice little tie-in right there.
You're learning from the learning tree already.
Learning from the learning tree, yes.
And most importantly, it gets Brian Keith on TV. Now,
1,000%.
I want Jericho Vortex. Everybody talks about the Jericho Vortex. It's never the stuff that people are doing with Jericho. When you're Sammy, all the people, and you're doing stuff with Jericho, it always works. You're always on TV. You're always more popular, right? What happens is when the Jericho stuff is over, they never continue the push. You kind of just go away. So it's not Jericho's fault that he gets the person up and then they don't follow through, because guess what? Brian Keith's going to be on TV more. The Redwood is going to be on TV more. And that's good because that keeps you noticeable, but they have to follow up after you're done.
They have to keep it up, yeah.
After you're done with Jericho. I had a thought. You know who's actually a Vortex? No one came out better? and it's just shot Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. It was just like the random thought in the car. It was like, yeah, if you remember, think about all the feuds Matt Hardy was in. Who came out better? Yeah, but whatever. Just like I'm taking a shot for no reason. But no, this was a random thought I had on the way to Sonic. So apologize. If Matt Hardy's your favorite wrestler and it found like I was just taking an unnecessary shot, it wasn't. It was just I was thinking of who could better really come out of that, because when you look at Jericho, people are more over. I mean, Daddy Magic, oh my God, what was he doing before he got in Jericho Appreciation Society? And
nothing.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, now if the other group doesn't follow up after you're done, what can you do with that? Is that the person's fault? No.
Right. Yeah. So we will see what the case is going forward, though. But we move over now to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match between Jon Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita. Now, on Collision the night before, Konosuke Takeshita went after Moxley, I should say. And Moxley came in and he was taped up from his arm to his shoulder, completely like bandaged up. Love the fact that his jacket he was wearing was a reminiscent of when he made his AEW debut at Double or Nothing 2019. Thought that was lovely. And this match, honestly, for me, I liked it a lot just because we got to see Moxley wrestle a different type of match. He had to be on the defensive and he had to be like suffering in this match. Takeshita beat the crap out of him. His arm got brutalized. There was a moment where he does like an arm drag and he whips it into the apron, like from him standing to his arm being whipped shoulder into the apron. And it was brutal. And like, I like the fact that Moxley had to endure a lot of shit. I thought it was a really cool thing that was a part of the match. And I thought it was really well done. And it gave a lot more of credence to when Moxley did survive all the pain and he was able to still come out and get the pin on Takeshita. I thought that that was really well done. I like the fact that Moxley was able to use the curb stomp when Takeshita brought in chairs, and then he gets a chair. He slammed into the chair with a curb stomp, then Death Rider, and then that's the win. Such a well done match. I felt like just like I said, for me, it's just cool just to see Jon Moxley do a different type of match because he was being murdered, and Takeshita, I think, despite the fact he didn't win, was able to look super good in this match.
This match angered me on a level of pissed off to the highest level of pissed off.
Okay.
First of all,
for once I'm not the angry one.
First of all, I was like, man, Mox and Takeshita is going to be a banger match. Then I'm at Collision and they do the arm thing. So I was like, now they're going to be working the arm thing in the match. And it's like, okay, so now they're not going to put a banger match on because they're going to be working the arm thing. So they do the match and they do the arm thing. And Takeshita dominates 90% of the match. And they let that dude look like the biggest fucking idiot on earth going to get a chair. He hadn't even hit all his signature moves yet. He hadn't hit a Falcon Arrow. He hadn't hit any of his big moves. And he goes, like nothing.
Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yeah. Then it goes, gets the chair, and he just gets stomped in the chair and then beat. I was like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they can tell me what they were trying to tell. If I have to ask, Moxley or Takeshita can tell me the story that we're going to try to tell. But if I have to ask,
Rocky 3?
If I have to ask you what story you were trying to tell, you didn't tell a good story. That simple. If I'm watching your match and I have to ask what story you're trying to tell in the match, you didn't tell a good story. And I don't think the match. I thought the match was fine. I mean, of course, I wanted Takeshita to win. If you saw my Twitter post right before the match, I was like, if Takeshita's gonna win, I'm gonna sit in my chair and pout. I was pouting. I was pouting hard because, again, this is two things. You give me the eliminator match, right? So I'm thinking it's an eliminator match. Takeshita can win. Takeshita's gonna win because it's an eliminator match. my whole thought process, if Moxley was going to win, why not just call it
for the title?
Why not just call it for the title? That way I could have just went into the match knowing Moxley was going to win, and I wouldn't have got pissed off as much as I did when Takeshita lost, who needs to start winning.
Yes.
Takeshita needs to start winning. I'm not saying you need to strap him up. I'm not saying you need to put a title on him. But that man needs to start winning matches now. He's been in the lovable loser. He did that as a face, and now he's doing the lovable loser as a heel. No, we need to go and upgrade Takeshita now, sir. We need to move him up this right.
I do agree with that. Yes, Takeshita, and I think that's the thing is like this man has shown you that he can work all different kinds of matches. He can work a match where he's just viciously keying in on one body part. And then he can also do the banger matches where like you put him against a guy like Will Ospreay and he'll just do moves upon moves upon moves. This guy is good. This guy knows what he's doing. And Takeshita has shown the ability to just be spectacular. Just like strap the rocket to this man and go. That's just what we need to do, I feel like, right now. So,
dude, like I said, this whole thing you can do. You just did it with Serena Deeb. Yes. You can do a winning streak. You can do a winning streak storyline without giving them the title. You know, It's like so. Let's have Takeshita win some matches. That way, when he does lose again, it actually means something, as opposed to Takeshita just lost again.
Yeah.
The Don Callis, like, if I was Takeshita and you were like, Don Callis is like, I can help you. And then you look at what he's done since he's been with Don Callis would be getting fired.
Yeah, that's the thing to me. Is like Don Callis' family, like, dude, this man is selling snake oil. Yeah. This man is selling fool's gold.
No one's in a better position with Don Callis than they were. No one.
Yes.
So, fix it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I will still say I liked seeing Moxley work a different type of match. That being said, yes, Floyd said 90% of the offense, but Moxley still gets the win. But it was a different part. It was a different flavor. I like the different flavor from Moxley. It's something that I'm not used to seeing from him.
Flavor in your ear.
Yes. We then get to the TNT Championship barbed wire cage match between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. Ooh, the Brood entrance. Ooh, the Slayer music. Ooh, so good. So good.
They got me. Them motherfuckers got me because I was so mad. Where's Gangrel? Yeah, that was me. I was like, where's Gangrel? Why did they have Gangrel in entrance? This is so dumb. They got me.
Yeah, there he is.
They got me. Yeah.
Huge pop when he returned, when he showed up too. Oh, seeing Gangrel come out from under the ring, and the crowd went ballistic. And this was a guy who said, no one will know who he is if he shows up. When Adam Copeland wanted to bring him in when he was in WWE for his one of his last feuds in WWE. He wanted to bring in Gangrel, and they said no one will know who he is. And when they brought in Gangrel, people knew who he was, and people went crazy for it. Spectacular. Now, obviously, the spot that Adam Copeland did that was dumb, that he should not have done, that his body tried to pull out of at the last second, was he climbed up to the top of the steel cage after laying Malachi Black on a table covered in barbed wire. He looks to do an elbow drop, but his body is basically like going forward and then pulls back, and he lands on like his feet, and then just like his knees just give, and then you can see like his foot is not good when he's standing. It was literally that moment of like just like your mind's just like, all right, we're doing this, and your body just pulls back at the last second, where it's like, honestly, if he would have went like just body first, like and landed the way that his like was intended, probably would have gotten out of it pretty clean. He went through a lot of damage to begin with at the start of the match, and he was still going, but he halfway went through, and it ended up fucking up his foot, which is incredibly heartbreaking. But that being said, I still think this match was so fun. Was so fun, and I like the fact that Copeland and Malachi were doing some great shit in this match, and it was a really cool TNT title defense. Like, it's a different title defense that we hadn't seen compared to everything else. And the Gangrel return was massive. It just sucks though, because now it's like you see the spot where Adam Copeland broke his foot, and it's very sad because you just see it's like, oh my god, why'd you do this? You didn't need to do this. So I still thought the match was dope as hell, and man, seeing Brood Edge and Brood Adam Copeland, so fucking cool,
dude. What was I was thinking? That when Gangrel came out, yes. And the door opens, you knew House of Black was coming on, and it was like, I remember Copeland said something about the House of Blood, and I was like, so of course start fantasy booking, maybe 2 young guys come help him, whatever. And then Gangrel came out, dude. I out of my mind popped when Gangrel came out, when he popped out of the ring. And I was like, I'm excited. I'm like, and then afterwards, I'm like, they got me. And it was so much better. Sometimes what you want, what they give you is way better than what you wanted. And that Gangrel spot was absolutely better than if he would have just came out in the entrance. So
yeah. No, yeah. And it made it even better. It made it even better.
So much better.
We then get to the first of the 3 matches that were in the triple main event. The TBS Championship match between Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. Now, Floyd is a massive Willow fan, I know. I want to go to Floyd on this one first, actually. I wanted to hear how his thoughts going into this match and how everything worked out.
Banger after banger after banger after banger. That's all Willow puts on.
Yes.
And I know Mercedes came in, and I truly think with the months build up to Mercedes debuting and the promos not being received well by a lot of people, she needed a banger. She needed to remind everyone that she is one of course, she says she's the best women's wrestler ever, but she is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. She needed a match to remind everyone of who the fuck she was. And this match told everybody who the fuck she was. Mercedes and Willow went out there and killed it. And this is the second in their series. I feel like it's going to be like a forever feud kind of thing. And yeah, the visual pinfall after the Dr. Bomb by Willow. I feel like we need to come up. I feel like AEW announcers, if you're listening to the show, you happen to listen to the show, we need a better name than the Dr. Bomb. We need to call it something for Willow. I don't know what that was. I don't know too much about Willows. But, yeah, we need to come up with a different name for the move for Willow. But she hits the move, gets the visual 3. Of course, Stokely and Chris Statlander are sitting there distracting because everyone's like, oh, they're going to turn. I like the end. Mercedes just won, Yeah. She hits her move, which she needs an alternate finisher for people that are a little bigger than she can control. Is that a nice way? I'm trying to put it the nicest, most PC way possible because I have no problem with the way Willow looks. So it's just the way the move is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the Gordy into a DDT, right? And when I saw her do it on Wednesday, it looks beautiful. When I saw her do it on Sunday, it just looks like, she just kind of threw her down kind of thing. So it looks devastating in the one. It doesn't look as devastating in the other. It's a nitpick because the match was brilliant. But I just think when you wrestling someone like Willow, maybe the larger opponents that you have to wrestle, that you might try to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Maybe bust out the frog splash because she does a really good frog splash. Bust out the frog splash in there. I mean, but yeah, she gets the 1, 2, 3. It's CEO. I'm doing the dance just like Will Ospreay.
Yes.
And CEO. But I thought the match was great. And we'll talk about the end. What happens after this? Because I want to get your thoughts on the actual match. But that match was really good.
Yeah, I think the match this was probably my match of the night, I will say. Now
that I think about it, it was probably my match of the night.
This was my match of the night, I will say. And I think just, we were talking about all the time. It's like the way that they were doing Mercedes Moné and like how she debuted and there was that long gap of just like when her first match was going to be. And we were on record saying, this is not how this should have gone. She should have been wrestling way earlier than this. That being said, I still do agree with that, but getting Mercedes in this match, she killed it, did outstanding work. Willow was a star, the crowd was all for her. They were all for her, and the way the crowd was just going back and forth in this, dude, spectacular. Like when Willow gets the pounce and the crowd's going crazy from that point, and then she's able to get some really good moves in here. And all of a sudden, though, there's a point where, literally Stokely and Mercedes is going towards the outside, and Stokely and Statlander are arguing with the referee. Willow Dr. Bombs, goes for the cover, and the ref doesn't see it when she has Mercedes beat, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, we just cost Willow, but Willow was able to try to get back up there, try to not let it affect her, but then she gets turned into the STF, or the bank statement, basically. Breaks the hold, and then the Monet Maker is hit. Willow gets the win. Mercedes gets the win, sorry, I should say. Huge win for Mercedes. And just, I will say firmly, it's I didn't know if, the fans were going to be all in on Mercedes with how long the gap was from her debut to this match, but they were with her, and I think she showed out. There's a reason why she was so huge going into this, dude. Spectacular. She's the new TBS champion. They then have Willow get helped out by Stokely Hathaway. Stokely was yelling at Willow, basically, and then blaming her. But Chris Statlander then shoves him and then proceeds to help Willow to the back before throwing her to the ground. And then Stokely's giggling, laughing, as we see Chris Statlander takes her friendship bracelet and throws it in Willow's face and then hits the discus lariat. They walk out as Willow's knocked out. Chris Statlander and you know what? Stokely wanted to be with Chris so bad. And now they're just this vicious duo that are just I like it a lot. So huge turn right there.
A huge turn. The way it was done. I love that it really didn't taint the Mercedes win or her match. And if you saw Mercedes on Wednesday, you can see it. She's really not a heel. She's kind of like a tweener. She's going to play whatever role is fitting for whoever she's facing. But she does think she's the best. In this case, Chris Statlander. So literally the price to pay when you mess with Monet was everything. She lost her belt. She lost her friends. She lost her family. So, she lost everything. She came in with everything, walked out with nothing. And that is a story that Willow's going to have to come back from.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a great story for her to try to really grow from. We'll move over now to Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage for the AEW World Championship match. Man, I loved, first of all, Swerve come out to play.
So I asked, I was asking people, have you seen the movie that came from?
Have I seen the movie that comes out that's from that? Yeah, The Warriors.
Okay, so JR hadn't. He's much older than you, so I was like,
that movie was released the year before I was born, so I have seen it though.
No, that movie was released 12 years before you were born.
Was it not?
It was released in 1979.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
2 years before I was born.
Sorry, my bad. I was looking at something completely different. There's multiple different things.
No. So I watched that movie when we were young in cable. Y'all probably hear the story quite a bit because it was what affected our lives. Is when we were young and you had cable back then, they played a lot of the same things over and over again. It was just whatever HBO had the rights to or whatever. So I've seen the Warriors 60 times. So when he comes out, I was like, oh my God, they're doing the Warriors. And so it was a deep cut. I was like, I know a lot of fans are going to say that entrance is cool. And then you're just like, that's from a movie. And they're going to look at you like, what? But yes, it was from a movie, a very old movie, And yes, like I said, deep cut. Swerve is 10 years younger than me, so he's closer to your age than my age.
Yeah, I know.
So it was really a deep cut, him coming out with that. So I marked out a little harder than everybody else when that came out. And man, Nana did it well, and yeah.
Oh, he killed that. Yeah, it was dope as hell. Yeah. The match itself, though, was very, very, very good. Now there was a lot of just like we talked about the kind of interference though from the start though, like of Nana I believe gets tossed first, which the crowd's pissed about, and then the patriarchy's got all of his goons out there helping him. But then eventually all of them gets tossed, and the way the crowd was like, you, and then just see Hard Cam just out of here at the same time with the ref was super, super well done. Man, I thought the wrestling in this match it picked up. I think this was another match where like once it got going. And man, why is I gotta say when Swerve hit that first house call that was like out of nowhere towards the end of the match, and then set up for the Swerve stomp, and then did another house call. Why was that first house call where like Christian went for a spear and he house called him basically in midair? Why was that just not the finish right there? I loved how quick and vicious that was. And then he did the Swerve stomp and then another house call kick. I was just like, you could have done the first one where he caught him there, and that could have been the finish.
Okay, so I saw this and it was one of the better spots I've seen. Of course, you've had Adam Cole and Ricochet. You've had different spots like this.
Yeah.
But this one was just perfectly timed, perfectly sold. If it was the finish, I would have loved it. But, I understand it not being the finish, because guess what? What if it didn't, what if you don't hit it right? You know what I mean?
I get it.
So I kind of get it. But, dude, this match was everything it needed to be because Christian had just come off of a loss, so he really didn't have a reason to be in this match. So it had to be them against everyone against Swerve, and Swerve, the conquering hero, comes through and gets the pin. And once I saw that spot with Christian and the kick, and then who his next opponent is. Oh my God, my brain started working overtime. Yeah. I'm like, they're going to do something like it.
Yeah. This match I thought was really damn good. I thought was a good first title defense for Swerve on pay-per-view, and Christian did a damn good job in this as well. I loved how Nana was able to chase off Nick Wayne. I thought was great. The announce table spot too was vicious because it didn't give at all. But huge win for Swerve Strickland to stay the AEW World Champion. But we will now move on to the final match of the night. Anarchy in the Arena. Team AEW with Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Jack Perry. I firmly believe that if you watch Anarchy in the Arena matches, they are best in person, because trying to keep up with these matches from home makes your head want to spin. You need to be in the atmosphere for Anarchy in the Arena to fully enjoy it. I will say that as someone who has seen the first two Anarchy in the Arenas in person, my sister has seen all three. I believe Floyd has seen all three in person.
Yes.
I'm going to pass off Anarchy in the Arena to Floyd first, and then I will give my thoughts afterwards. I truly believe being in person for Anarchy in the Arena, it's so much better than watching it on TV.
The buzz before this match, the tiny buzz before this match is what music they were going to play during the match. Because that's kind of been a staple that some music gets played during the match. So everyone comes out. FTR and the Long Boys. Shout out to my boy in the pants. FTR and the Long Boys. It took some getting used to for a minute, but I was like, there you go. And the music starts, and they started. What music did they start with? You're the music guy, Austin. What music did they start with?
It started off first with Darby Allin's theme. They cut it off. Then Young Bucks wanted to hear their garbage theme. They play that. And then Danielson cuts that off. And then he brings out the final countdown.
All right. So they start off with the music, and everybody's excited. They're into it, and they're like, everybody's going crazy. And then the Young Bucks play their music. And I was like, this is pretty cool. So, because the heel music, everybody's like booing. Then Bryan Danielson saying, we're going to do the greatest fucking music of all time and guest entrance of all time. And let me tell you, I had no idea what was about to be played. Like, literally. Everybody that knew, happy for you that you do. This guy didn't, because then he started playing the final countdown. And let me be real. And this is my hot take. I probably wouldn't put the final countdown in the top 50 entrances of all time, let alone the number one entrance of all time. But with Anarchy in the Arena and everybody's chanting, and then Darby jumps off the thing to the music, dude, it worked. It worked.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. So
you were right there when that happened.
Let me tell you, right? So I got to give JR his props. Because JR got us in the hundreds, right? And I understand. And as you may know, when you listen to the show, I usually sit on the floor. But JR was like, dude, I want to go to the show. It's going to be me and my brother. I was like, yes, I want to sit with y'all. So he got the hundreds. And I literally, you can ask your parents in Sydney, because they kept asking where I was sitting, and I kept saying I didn't know. And they were like, why? I was like, because if I ask where the tickets are, I am then going to get on the site and buy better tickets.
They told me that, yep.
Yeah, so I just didn't know where.
Because I was surprised when I saw, because Sydney was on the floor for Collision, and I was like, Floyd's up in the hundreds? God damn.
So, nope, didn't ask, because I didn't want to upgrade. I was going to sit with my friends. I'm sticking to the plan. So, I'm giving JR shit, because I'm like, seriously, once you go from the floor, that next show when you sit in the hundreds, you feel so detached from the show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm used to saying hi to Sam, Dave, all the people down there, seeing my people down there, the Hills girls, the Schwabs, all the people. I usually say hi to everybody, right? So I'm like afar, and I can't say hi to anybody because I'm up here, right? So I'm giving JR shit for these tickets. I'm like, I loved it. I love that I'm here, but it doesn't feel the same. And that dude wins in the end, because Darby Allin literally comes up, stands right next to me, 3 feet away. I posted the picture on Twitter. That is not zoomed in at all. He's that close to me. And then he jumps. And who does he jump on right under me? Cash. Right there. Hey, Cash, how's it going? And
what's up, dog?
Yeah. And so at the same time that this is going on, JR is out in the upstairs, what is that called? The 4A or whatever, where he was out there, and he's like right next to Dax while he's fighting. So yeah, literally, shout out to JR. Excellent seats. I could never talk shit again, because if I was on the floor, I wouldn't have saw Darby jump right off there. That was really cool to be in that spot for it. And it was funny because, like I posted the picture and then somebody showed the video and they was like, I made it on TV, because people had actually asked me, was I going to be on the TV? I was like, I'm in the hundreds. You won't see me on TV. Made TV in the hundreds. What?
Look at that.
What? No, I'm just playing. Dude, but it's a crazy show. Like, I was on the AEW Match Guide where we went through the top 15 with Sir Sam and Imp. Where we went through the top 15 matches in AEW, or our top 10 matches in AEW history over the first 5 years. And I always said, Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede, as much as I love those matches, I can't ever rate them, because you only, at best, see, even if you're at home and you get the multiple screen, you're only going to see about, 50% of the match?
At least, yeah, no.
You're like,
that's why I say for a match where you can see only some of what takes place because everything's happening all at once, you need to be there just to be able to feel the atmosphere of how nutty it is when you're in the building for when shit gets crazy.
So then I look on the video and I was like, is Scapegoat gonna hit? Because I'm trying to get away from calling him Jungle Boy. Is Scapegoat gonna hit Darby with a bus? Is this gonna be the second time Darby has been hit with a bus? Which is hilarious that they made that, like a thing and a reference. It looks like he hits him in a bus, and then Darby comes out like he that was his Eddie Kingston moment. He came out looking like a fucking zombie to continue to fight. And then Jack Perry comes in, and I see when they sell him, he's soaked in something. And I was like, this boy is about to get caught on fire. Because it's a very, the flame retardant stuff.
Yes.
It doesn't look like water in any way. Yeah, it doesn't look like water in any way. So you can tell something was on him. So
he's shiny as shit.
Yes. He gets TK and he kind of throws him out, and then he walks in, and then I feel like I win my discussion with Austin in this moment. Because Austin's like Darby's going to set someone on fire. Darby fucking set someone on fire.
I will concede. Darby. I mean, I was familiar with your game because you're one of my favorites, but I was not familiar with how hard your game goes sometimes.
Yes. And shout out I know you're not going to give this man any credit, but the Scapegoat calling himself on fire.
No, and I honestly, that was the safest spot of the night compared to Adam Copeland jumping off the top of the cage. Yeah. That was way more dangerous than Jack getting set on fire because, I mean, he's done it before. We've seen he's done it before. And
I had never seen the video of him being set on fire and then doing the little fighting moves. I had never seen that.
So he had done that before. And then they did it as safely as they possibly could. And it was an insane moment. 1,000%. I was more so I couldn't get over the fact that oh my God, there is a shittier version of the Lex Express. It's the Scapegoat bus. How do you make a shittier version of the Lex Express?
Because this isn't shiny Jungle Boy. This is grimy Jack Perry, son. He's grimy. He got the beard. He's a real thug now, okay? You get this? This dude's been through some hard times.
Such a thug.
Been through some hard times.
He can't handle a push. In more ways than one.
Yes. He did time, man. He did time in Tony Khan jail.
Dirty Dom did time.
No, that's what I said. He did time in Tony Khan jail, sir.
Which is apparently New Japan.
Yes, which he was grounded.
I would have thought it would have been CMLL, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he comes out. He a real man now. He sets himself on fire. I mean, hey, gotta tell you, if you I don't know how much of a match. Watch Dax and Cash. I thought they were, MVPs of this match. I know it's coming from me. Completely biased opinion. Completely biased. I have no problem saying that. But Jack Perry comes in, and of course you knew. This feels like this whole elite thing. This feels like this whole thing is about getting one person over. The Young Bucks are over. Okada's over. FTR's over. Bryan Danielson's over. This whole thing has been about getting one person over. And who gets the pin in the match with the knee to the face? The one person this was about getting over. Jungle Boy or Scapegoat, Jack Perry. 1, 2, 3. Those fucking elite bastards win.
Yeah. Insane Anarchy in the Arena match. Darby got hung upside down.
Oh,
super kicked in the fucking face.
So much of this shit happened in the show. I forgot that happened.
How do you forget a man who's got a thumbtack face?
Because someone got fucking
hung upside down.
Someone got fucking set on fire. A chair fucking exploded over Dak's face. I'm like, dude, there was too many things that happened.
You guys are chanting, "Please help Darby" during the match. As Bryan Danielson is doing the yes chant, I'm still concerned because Darby is going to lose all feeling in his body. So,
Dude, like I said, so much happened.
Happened, dude.
We could wait 15 minutes and you could tell me to describe this match again. I'm going to focus on something completely different.
Yep.
You know, because it's just so much happens in these matches. That's why I always said I can't rate them on that match because they're not matches. They're spectacles. You know what I mean? Like when they're for the people sitting in the hundreds and higher up that don't get to see the match up close a lot of time. Anarchy in the Arena, you're gonna get something near you, and it was fucking crazy
for sure. Two things else I will mention. One, when Jack got drowned basically in that ice bath, I was like, oh, that's a good way to prep somebody who's gonna get set on fire. And then second of all, dear God, Tony must have had headphones on and was listening to Limp Bizkit's Rolling, because my God, when this dude was rolling the fuck down as Jack Perry's being set on fire.
Yes.
Fucking this guy.
Yes.
This guy.
Yes, he's amazing.
TK, stay behind the desk, please.
The legend that is Tony Khan.
Yeah. I got not much else to add about this match. I said what this match was going to do, like, when I was going into it. It was designed to get Jack Perry over, and Jack Perry's going to win the match for the Elite, and I was going to be pissed about it. So, like, what else do you want me to say, you know? It is what it is, you know? I haven't been a fan of this storyline since it started. I haven't been a fan of the characters that are in this storyline. And, you know, it was designed for this. I knew what it was going to be. It was a lot of fun. It was very dumb. It was incredibly entertaining, but I knew that it was going to piss me off at the end, which it did. So that's really all it has to say.
Dude,
I will say, I learned during this Double or Nothing weekend that I should either start a cult or be a pro wrestler or some sort of booker, because I worked this man so goddamn hard.
No, and let me make sure you understand this. You didn't just work me. You worked your parents, too. They started the conversation. I just like, because I'm like, I just thought you did it with me. So I literally thought that for the most part you were doing your gimmick, right? Then they brought it to me. I was like, so is this a real thing? And then I was like, this is a real thing. So, yes.
I will say for them, it was more so because they were there when I was furious about the only thing that genuinely made me mad, which was when they showed the footage, which I don't want to continue to get into because I'm past it. But like I said, that was really the only thing.
Like I said,
everything else they hear me talking shit.
I'm very open to the idea that, like I said, I'm open to the idea. Like I said, for the most part, I thought it was a work, right? That you were just playing it up. But sometimes when you went off, I was like, is this dude really mad? I didn't know what to do. So I stayed quiet. So yes, you worked me. Your previous path of working in the wrestling business, that should be something you did because you worked me. That was,
I will say this too firmly for those, like, since I will leave this as my true statement because I do talk shit a lot about this. Because I've had people also reach out to me on Twitter too. I want to make this very perfectly clear. Everything that I talk about that I don't like has to involves the product and involves the characters and everything that we see on TV. Mm-hmm. I do not care about wrestlers' personal lives because I do not know these people. Both in the wrestlers that I'm not fans of and in the wrestlers that I love. I don't care about these people's personal lives because I don't know them. And if people thought that, like, I had such a level of hatred for the Young Bucks, for Jack Perry, and I just couldn't stand them, and I was basically doing what a lot of CM Punk stands on Twitter, which I do not identify with those people. Those people scare me. If I was doing what those people were doing, I would hate their guts and, like, not want anything to do with them and all that kind of stuff. My lovely little sister was down in Las Vegas, and I was not able to be there. And she found out that at the Champ Sports in Las Vegas on the Strip, that they were doing a sort of thing debuting the Young Bucks' new Reebok pumps that they were teasing and doing all the advertisements for on Dynamite these last couple weeks. And then decided they were going to be there for them and they were going to do a meet and greet. So Sid was like, I'm 1,000% being there. because there's no other meet and greets going on in AEW for Double or Nothing weekend. And then she goes there, and she doesn't really know how it's supposed to be ran and all that kind of stuff. She ended up on their Twitter, which is pretty cool because there's a video of her fist bumping Matt Jackson. But she gets closer and she realizes, I'm going to have to buy these shoes in order to get a picture and meet them and all that kind of stuff. So she texts me that and she's like, I got to buy the shoes. I'm like, how much are they? And she tells me how much they are. And I'm like, you will never wear those shoes. Just here's the money for the shoes. Get them in my size. You can meet them. I did that without a second thought. If I truly hated the Young Bucks, I would have been like, you've met them like 4 or 5 times. I'm not buying their shitty shoes. You can buy them if you want, but I'm not buying their shitty shoes.
But it could be possible that you just love your sister more than you hate the Young Bucks.
I mean, there is the level of that, obviously.
There you go. That's what I'm like. I've bought it during the height of my hate of John Cena. I bought a John Cena shirt for my friend Sheila because I love Sheila more than I hated John Cena. But I hated John Cena.
What shirt was it? I'm curious now.
It was the breast cancer awareness shirt.
Oh, okay, that one, the pink one.
Yeah, and it was like she really wanted it, and I was like, you know how much I hate this guy. Like I don't know why I don't know why you're doing this to me. Like
yeah. But again, if I truly did hate them too, I would have actively done what a lot of stupid people do when it comes to like people they hate. I hate this football player. Set their jersey on fire or step in dog shit with their shoes. I would have done all that kind of stuff. It is never that deep with me, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's like when you say it now, right? And it makes sense because that's where we've always been.
From Jump Street, I said that.
But you've been playing this role really well, sir. I got to tell you. Like I said, I like being worked. You worked me, and I'm cool with that. And like I said, I come out with more respect for you for working me on the level that you did. But yeah, you worked me. I have no problem in it.
Yeah. And that's really all I wanted to say in tops of that. This was an insane closer to this Double or Nothing pay-per-view that was off the top nutty. And like I said, I truly think it made up for last.
I just want FTR to win one of these because
they just can't.
I was at Stadium.
Just can't, dude.
Yeah, this is the 3-year anniversary of the Stadium Stampede in Jacksonville, and you know what? They didn't win that one, and then they came back, and 3 years later, they lose again. So yeah, in my mind, let me tell you my mind's eye, because in my mind, I can be a responsible person, but in being practical, I'm generally not, right? So there's this July 3rd show in Chicago, and a lot of people think it's going to be Blood and Guts. And I've never seen a Blood and Guts. And if FTR is in Blood and Guts...
you're going to have a hard time not going to that.
I mean... You say I'm going to have a hard time not going to that. I'm going to be there. That kind of thing. And it's like, the only hope is they don't announce it until the Monday before. And I just
for real. They're going to make it so late that you can't even make it happen.
And I would be so ecstatic if they did that. But I've never seen a Blood and Guts live. So it's like, everything's in me. Like, Floyd, you can't go. You can't go. You got London. You got All In. You got 5 or 6 collisions. You can't go. And I'm like, but I want to go. It's the little kid inside of me, but I want to.
Yeah, but too bad.
Yeah.
But insane Double or Nothing. We're going to quickly move over now to Dynamite from this past week, which opened with Mercedes Moné celebrating her TBS championship win. I told y'all the wait was worth it. Basically, wasn't I worth the wait? Like, love that. That's how she opened it. First of all,
yeah.
And she did say, man, you're just too nice, Willow. But I could have told you that Chris and Willow and Stokely were going to screw you over. But I hope when you return better than ever, and you kick their asses. And then she talks about Forbidden Door being 4 weeks away. Then Sky Blue appears on the screen. And then it shows the old footage of when she got jumped during the interview with Alex Marvez. The one where people was too preoccupied with the fact of the way that she was selling her moans. And But Sky just goes, that was some of my best work, and I'm just getting started. Sky Blue then sneaks up behind her and wipes out Mercedes Moné, holds the TBS championship while holding Mercedes down, pinning her with her knee. So we're going to get Sky Blue versus Mercedes Moné. And more than anything, we ended up finding out that we were going to get that match later that night.
Dude, yeah, I was really excited. They flipped the switch. Mercedes is, full. She's fully on now. So you're going to have to see her everywhere now.
It's just nice to know that she's finally working consistently now.
Yeah, she's back. She's full member of the roster. Now. She's full member of the roster. So yeah, that's cool.
Then we had the House of the Dragon match, promoting House of the Dragon, and it was whose house? Swerve's house, and then a dragon in the name of Killswitch or Luchasaurus, a dinosaur. He's dragon, kind of, sort of. In whose house? Swerve's house. House of Dragons. It's corporate synergy, everybody. Promoting everything. I love the fact that this match was literally made just so that we could have this stupid little pun. And it was a fine enough match. But, oh my God, I thought it was just so funny that that's the way this match was booked, was just because it's Swerve's house and there's a dragon in it. Dinosaur, dragon, dinosaur, whatever you prefer. It was fun enough. I thought it was a fine enough match as the first match of the show. I just couldn't get over it. I was just like the inner me of just like the stupid pun of it all. I just couldn't get over it. It was so stupid that I loved it.
Yeah, your boy Floyd over here loves puns. I have been caught stretching a pun a couple times in my life, a lot. So I was all about this. I still haven't finished season 1. I got to the last 2 episodes of House of Dragon season 1 and haven't watched them. So me and my wife got to finish that so we can start with season 2. And you know what? It's so weird. There's not a lot you could do to usually get me. I'm older. I'm not old, but I'm older, and I'm set in my ways, the stuff I like. But the easiest way to get me to try a approved product is for them to advertise during AEW. So
it helps a lot, yeah.
So if I wasn't watching House of Dragon,
are you telling me right now that you've tried Woo Energy?
I have not tried Woo Energy.
Okay.
The reason I have not tried Woo Energy, it's not super convenient. I can't just order it from Amazon. You have to go to the Woo Energy site. I'm literally on a subscription, Amazon subscription for Bang, and my wife drinks Monster. So the one thing I don't need in my life is another energy drink.
Fair enough. I was just curious because that's always there. And I'm always just whenever it gets knocked over, I scream, save the Woo Energy.
To this day, and this is for the sickos, my insurance is State Farm. Why is my insurance State Farm? Because they were one of the first advertisers on AEW. Not even joking. My car's insurance has been State Farm since what was it? October of 2009. October of 2019.
I just thought it was because of Jake from State Farm.
No, not Jake from State Farm. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is on there, but no, they were one of the first big sponsors of AEW, and my insurance was coming up, and I switched to State Farm because of AEW.
There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's a sicko. Sick. I'm not telling anyone to do that. I am unwell. Okay.
There you go. Don't take his advice.
Yeah.
Debut of a brand new segment, and it's TV time with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. Jericho goes, "Who wants more TV time? You know I do." Basically, just continuing to just dig that point in. Jericho, my God, dude, the way that he's just jumped headfirst into this ridiculous image of himself, and just the Disney princess wave and everything, the way he talks, and dude, he's doing it again. He's making me care about Jericho on TV in 2024. He's doing it again. I thought this was funny. I was thoroughly entertained by this. And I thought it was so dumb. And then when Hook came in knocking out the security guards and was going to try to go after Jericho, but then Samoa Joe then out of nowhere shows up, and then he proceeds to get into Hook's ear, and then he then walks away with Hook, and it seems like we've got a pairing of Hook and Samoa Joe, which I like a lot. But man,
Samoa Joe is answering Chris Jericho's learning tree with his own learning tree. I dig it because didn't see this coming. Even when he's like, y'all could be dangerous together. It's like Samoa Joe's about to have his own fight squad, and I am super excited about this because when they showed Samoa Joe and Hook together, Hook looked tougher.
Oh yeah,
he did. It was just like, okay, this is gonna work. That's exactly how my brain went. I was like, oh, this is gonna work.
Yeah, for real. And then just the stupid fucking tree, like the goddamn middle school play tree in the middle of the ring, and then the return of the Jeritron 5000, but just as for TV time with Chris Jericho. It's so stupid. I love it. I can't help it, dude. It's the dumbest shit in the world, but I just think, oh my God, Jericho's doing it again.
Dude, and he calls Big Bill the Redwood. I never even thought about that having to do with the tree of Jericho. I just thought they was calling him because he was tall. But I'm like, oh, that everything ties together. I wonder what Brian Keith's name was gonna be. It's crazy.
He calls them all, like, I want to thank all of you branches that sat. Yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah. This
I can't help it, dude. It's so dumb. I love it.
Wrestling genius is thrown around way too often. Chris Jericho is a wrestling genius.
Yeah. No, it's
you go back to Dynasty during his match, and now, dude, wrestling genius. I want to sit under the tree of Jericho.
There you go. I also love too. Big Bill made the bad apple joke and just got crickets.
Yes,
it was so bad that people couldn't even say anything. Like they were just like, it got the appropriate response.
Yes, and that's like, this is living in cringe, and it is like there are people on Twitter because I'm.
I know people are mad.
And they hate Chris Jericho. And then there's people that hate Chris Jericho because he's made this good. They hate him even more because he's made this good.
Exactly. It's just like, you son of a bitch, you've done it again. We were literally chanting, please retire at this, man. And then all of a sudden it's just like, how does he keep getting away? How does he keep getting away with this?
Yeah. No, the dude's amazing. Man. I'm in awe. I'm in awe of, cause I was there at Dynasty. I was there. Rich was there. Dave was right next to me, and we heard it, and we're like, Jericho's done. They're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to make this go away. Jericho is done. Not so fast, my friend. To steal a line from the great Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. That dude he is the wizard. He needs to go back to that because the way he's changed this and make it work, that's the only thing I can say. Witchcraft or wizardry.
Something must have happened, dude. It's crazy, but we'll move over now to another IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. Moxley facing off against Rocky Romero this time.
I don't understand why this match happened.
Yeah, it was just a match. It was solid. Rocky's a good wrestler.
No, but like the Rocky's like 1-11. Why is he getting it?
Isn't that why? It's just like he's so tied together with New Japan.
It was like why
but he doesn't win?
Yeah, why is he even in an eliminator match? No one thought he was winning.
Exactly.
Dude, no. It's just like
it was.
I would have liked Rocky to beat a couple people before getting the eliminator match. I know it's weird, but it's just weird. It just felt weird.
Like I said, it was fine. It wasn't anything egregious. Rocky's always going to put on a good match. Moxley was good, even though I watched coming right off of what he did against Takeshita. It was a little bit more so of like same old. I just felt like it was fine. It's nothing bad about it though. We then had Don Callis looking to present a contract to freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy to join the Don Callis family. He says the contract in his hand is more valuable than gold. And then he presents him basically, you've made some bad choices, but I'm here to work with you, and you're a star wherever you go. Here's this contract. I already filled it all out for you. All you got to do is sign it. And then Orange Cassidy, of course, the spot we all were waiting for, slow tearing of the contract, and he rips it in half. And Don Callis is furious. But then Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander come down. And Stokely says, first of all, he also becomes another person to reference Kendrick Lamar, his diss to Drake with the hate the way that you walk, hate the way that you talk, hate the way that you dress. And you did that in L.A. You knew for good reason why you did that in L.A. And he said, you're just like Willow. Only reason I'm out here is because of Chris. And then Chris says, on behalf of my best friend, I'm here to announce that he accepts your invitation to the Don Callis family. Trent then appears from behind him and then knocks him out, beats the shit out of him, and literally busts him open. And then he is the one that joins the Don Callis family and does the you got to give the people what they want hug with Don Callis. And Trent Beretta joining the Don Callis family, and Chris Statlander now the final best friend to turn on Orange Cassidy because Chuck Taylor wasn't going to turn, and also because he may not be able to wrestle again. So truly, Orange Cassidy is all alone now. So the storyline continues forward with this little momentum shift, I will say. I'm interested to see what Trent in the Don Callis family looks like, because it gives me more time to see Trent do stuff. Man, I just wish they were still together, dude. Like, I wish Best Friends was still together. And that's just because I never wanted them to break up in the first place. That's just personally me.
So let's talk about all the good things from this thing. How many storylines got tied together? I mean, the two storylines basically got tied together. After Trent turned on OC and Chuck, there was this moment with Chris in the backstage where she was like, how'd you do that? And then he whispers something in her ear, right? And I don't know if we ever gonna find out what he said, but in my mind, in this head canon, he whispered, Willow's doing the same thing to you. Because if you look at Willow and Orange Cassidy, their trajectories are very much similar. Orange Cassidy was kind of brought in as the mascot for the Best Friends. He was just kind of in the back while the Best Friends did their thing, right? And then he became Orange Cassidy. Willow was kind of the mascot for Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander.
No,
she was more than a woman.
Yeah, and it makes all the sense in the world. Like Orange Cassidy being bigger than Best Friends, and that Trent was furious about that. It makes all the sense in the world, and they've done a good job of it. I just didn't want it to happen.
Yes, and then but I'm saying the tying of Willow
in with this to get Chris also.
Yes, it was just like, this is brilliant. When
that was well
they like the continuity guy, whoever the continuity guy at AEW, shout out to you. I'm like, I don't know if this was the plan for months, but it just worked out together. It made sense. Trent aligns himself with heel manager Don Callis. Chris aligns herself with heel manager Stokely Hathaway. And they're both going to be in better positions now. And my whole thing, I was afraid of the exact same thing that you were afraid of. That after Orange Cassidy beat Trent, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, he was going to vanish.
He was going to vanish. But they've managed to keep both relevant. They've got two hot feuds that are probably going to end in, the bigger type of street fight matches. So I'm looking forward to this. I am looking forward to this. This is the most interesting Trent has been in a long time to me. And Chris Statlander, shout out to her. Because I don't know, like I said, I don't know how far this was playing, but she was the TBS champion, won it at Double or Nothing. She clearly took a back role to focus on Willow. And, that has to be hard for any wrestler, even if it's for a short or whatever time. She took a back role, and it was all about Willow. So I shout out to Chris that I'm ready for this Chris Statlander-Willow rivalry.
Yeah, no, I think they're going to, and they did a great promo, I will say, backstage, where Stokely ripped her to shreds and basically said, how they tied it together with the 4-way for the TBS title back in March, and how you didn't listen to Chris about how much she wanted that belt, but I listened. And Chris Statlander doing a really good job saying how she's done being the protector and you're going to need protection from me. I thought that was really well done tying all that together. We then had another backstage segment where Daddy Magic and Daniel Garcia were there, and Garcia basically said, Ospreay, I'm climbing up the rankings, and I'm going to take that international title away from you to make your bags a little lighter on those international flights, respectfully.
I like that, especially because he's like, I don't care who the international champion is.
Yeah, he's going to take it.
Will Ospreay he's not going after Will Ospreay. He's going after the belt. Will Ospreay just happens to have the belt. Yep. I dig that. I dig that so much. Like, anybody can get it. I've always liked wrestlers like that.
Garcia fits that perfectly too. We then had the match between Sky Blue and Mercedes Moné. And it was all right. Nowhere near as good as the opening, her first match, obviously, but it was all right. It wasn't anything too long. Excuse me. There was a nice little dive to the apron floor that Sky Blue did. That Mercedes Moné did, where she dives with the meteor to the floor. Loved seeing that move all the time. Sky went for the code blue, got hit with the Monet maker, and then Mercedes gets the victory. So a quick little title defense to tie in how she got jumped to start off. So that story is now tied up with a little bow, basically right there. And now we see how Mercedes as TBS champion grows from here. So this is all right, I thought.
The match was all right. I want to give it. I'm basically going to talk about what happened after the match, because earlier in the evening, I don't think we talked about it. They did a video package.
They did do a video package.
A vignette about 4 segments before this of Stephanie McCool, and they told you exactly who Stephanie McCool was, right?
Yeah.
Then Stephanie McCool comes after the match, and she raises her belt like it's going to be Mercedes and Stephanie at Double or Nothing. I get on Twitter this morning when I woke up, or this afternoon, honestly, and I saw a bunch of tweets that said who, and I was like, I just want to reply, you motherfuckers. They gave you the stupid-ass video package that you begged for. They did it 4 segments before the woman came out.
Oh, yeah.
And because you know what? It's not real criticism. This criticism is not real. This is people that hate AEW just looking for a reason to throw shit at them.
Yes.
Because this wasn't a real criticism. So shout out. Like, I was excited when Stephanie came out. I've seen her wrestle like twice, and I really enjoyed it. So I think her and Mercedes are going to put on a really good match. I think they've wrestled before. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to Google it. But I think they've already wrestled before. So I'm looking forward to them at Forbidden Door. But it was just so funny how they did the video package and still did who. They still did who. Which, Of course, I watched NXT the night before, and Jordan Grace and Ethan Page both came out. Did either one of them have video packages, Austin?
Neither did.
Shockingly, everyone knew who they were.
Oh, I still saw a lot of people who didn't know who the hell Ethan Page was.
Really? I never saw that. I guess I
still saw that.
I don't follow the right people.
I was like, because, dude, Fed fans don't watch other wrestling.
Ego, me and my ego.
I love Ethan Page getting more work. Shout outs to that guy.
Dude, I was like really excited because just as we move past the Stephanie McCool thing, I'm just going to side note. I've always saw Ethan Page, and I guess I'm the only one. I've always seen him as a main event top heel. Like, I've always seen him as that. Like, in my mind, that was his role, because that's what I saw him in TNA, and he was so good, and then he got in such great shape. It was just like, why aren't you pushing him as the main event top heel? And again, wrestling, this is wrestling. You know, you got the guy that runs it is like the casting director, the writer, the blah, blah, blah. He's a lot of different roles. So sometimes you're not going to see what other people see in people. So I wish Ethan and, Jordan in NXT for a little while, I wish them both the best.
Yeah, best of luck to those guys. We then had the EVPs Well, first of all, they did say that MJF will be returning to Dynamite next week. And then we had the EVPs come out because they were going to determine the future of the TNT Championship following Adam Copeland's injury. And because I can write their shit better than they can, I knew exactly what the story was going to be. Like, oh, we're so sorry that you lost your belt, but we have to strip it from you, and we're going to present it to Jack Perry on a silver platter. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Someone comes out, and then we're going to turn it into, like, what I said was what it was going to be what the Face of the Revolution ladder match was going to be. Like, that's what that was. Now it's just the Face of the TNT ladder match for the TNT title. And it was exactly how it played out. Except I did not expect Okada to get a custom Lamborghini and for him to be like, oh my God, is this a dream? Oh my God, thank you so much. I love you guys. He's crying and like, oh my God, I love you. And then he just goes stone-faced.
I love it.
Fucking killed me.
Yes.
That and then him just saying shut up bitches to the crowd was like, that needs to be my new text tone. Like that was like so spectacular. Even the fact that like it was like CM Punk chants and Okada shuts that shit down immediately, and he does it in an incredible way. See, guys, I can give props. I can give props like that. Is it cool how I can do that? Now I'm gonna shit on the rest of it. So they do exactly what I say. They're gonna present the title to Jack Perry, and CD comes out. Shout out Christopher Daniels. And you guys were going to give me some sort of severance package, but I don't need that anymore because I got a brand new job. TK has named me the interim executive vice president. So when I make an announcement, it comes directly from Tony Khan himself. And then they said, AEW is where the best wrestles. So Jack Perry, you're going to have an opportunity to earn that title because you're going to have qualifying matches, no seconds, no matches, managers at ringside, no outside interference. The winner goes on to Forbidden Door to wrestle for the vacant TNT Championship in a ladder match. First qualifying match will be at Rampage. And they were going to Matt and the Young Bucks and the Elite were going to jump CD, and then the Acclaim comes out to even the odds and chase off the Elite. So we're going to get a ladder match at Forbidden Door, qualifying matches to determine who will be in that ladder match, and basically what used to be the Face of the Revolution match is now the Face of TNT match for the TNT title. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about who's going to be in it, even though I'm pretty sure Jack Perry's still going to win the damn thing.
So let me tell you things I'm excited about. That they found a way to keep TK off my TV.
Yes.
So
CD being some sort of authority figure that's on TV that is not TK, love it.
Yep. Kept TK off my TV. That's cool.
I don't need TK on my TV.
Correct.
He's too busy rolling farther and farther down the ramp.
He is the voice of God. And that's what CD is, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's the voice of God.
He is the fallen angel for a reason.
Yes. Yes. So I love that part. Second is I like how they were going to award it, and then they got stopped. I like that part. One part I don't like. I understand it. But I hate. So I'm going to give you a singles title that you're going to defend in singles matches, right? How am I going to decide the singles champion? By you not actually wrestling a match and having to climb a ladder and grab the belt. This is a Floyd thing. I understand no one else has a problem with this. And it's become widely accepted. This is how they're deciding the women's North American title. But good Lord, I really do want titles decided in title matches. I want them to be a singles match. One guy's better than the other, and he wins the title. I don't want the first person to climb up the ladder to be the champion. It just annoys me. It's a singles match. You should win the title. Singles title. You should win the title in the singles match. These qualifying matches, call it a tournament. Whatever you want to do.
I get that, but we're literally doing an Owen Hart tournament very shortly, too. I can't have two separate tournaments happening at the same time.
Again, that's why I stated this earlier, that I understand now why it's happening, but at the time, I hated it.
I get it. Yeah. We then get to the main event of the show, the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet match. So let me make sure I get everybody who was in this match. Switchblade Jay White and the Bastard Pack open up the match. Good little continuation off of Double or Nothing. We then had Mystico from CMLL, Sin Cara himself. Will Ospreay was the fourth man, and Claudio Castagnoli was out as well, and Shoto Umino as well, who came out. And then Orange Cassidy and Leo Rush were the final members in the gauntlet match. So I believe I got everybody who was in the match. This was really well done. I thought this was really, really well done. And how do I say it?
Hechicero.
Hechicero. Sorry, yeah, that was the last one that was.
I got you.
Sorry. But yeah, I thought this was a really fun, fast-paced match. I firmly thought when this match was going on, I thought that the winner to get the world title match was going to be. Part of me was like, I was thinking maybe Claudio just out of nowhere would get a win like that, because I think Claudio getting a world title match against Swerve, they would put on a banger match. I was kind of thinking Claudio might get the push, but I failed to realize how much the Rocket has been strapped to Will Ospreay. Ospreay busted his ass, and he got the win. So
this is what I was getting to. Because you didn't know who was in it, it was hard to predict. I was throwing out people that couldn't be in it. Because I was like, dude, ZSJ is going to win this. I was like, Zack Sabre Jr. Because, it's Forbidden Door. I figured it was going to be a New Japan representative. Right. So I was like, oh, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to come out and win this. Jeff Cobb put out, oh, you got to do an eliminator match. I thought it was setting up Jeff Cobb winning it. I was like, so I was going through the whole New Japan roster. I thought Ishii was going to pop up, and I was wrong because they went with Will Ospreay. And I feel like I know why they went with Will Ospreay. I feel like I know. The reason I feel they went with Ospreay is to basically, Ospreay's got to lose eventually, right? And whoever gets that first win, it's going to elevate them, right?
Uh-huh.
Swerve's in that position right now where, not, a lot of people like me, Rich, a lot of people believe in him, but there are some people that are still got that, I don't know if he's ready to be the champ. So guess what you do? You give him the biggest scalp you have. Will Ospreay.
That would be massive.
Yes.
He's able to, with that. Be the first person to be Will Ospreay.
Be the first person to be Ospreay. And believe me, after we saw what we saw Saturday, all that's been bothering my head is him going for the Os Cutter and then him getting kicked in the head while he's doing the Os Cutter. That's all. I don't know if it's going to happen. I have no idea. I don't even know how the timer work out. I am not athletic, so I cannot tell anyone how to do shit. But if they figure out a fucking way to do that, I'm going to pop and just throw everything everywhere. Because I will be actually watching from home this time. This is weird to say that. I'm going to be watching from home. I am excited for Will Ospreay and Swerve. This is great. This is great. And I was shocked that Will Ospreay won. I was really shocked that he won. But, because... And this whole thing, I don't know. I kind of dig the whole random gauntlet match. Like, anybody could show up.
It was exciting.
It was an exciting end to the show. Yeah, we got Leo Rush. It was like, who the hell, Leo Rush just came to the ring. What the hell is he doing here?
No, I was all for this. It was a fine enough Dynamite for the most part. The gauntlet match was incredibly exciting, I felt like, to continue on to close out the show. Yeah,
and I got to tell you, and this is where I'm at an acceptance. You got to accept that there's kind of a new standard for Dynamite because they are always building to a pay-per-view, right? This used to be before Forbidden Door, it was Double or Nothing to All Out. There was nothing.
Yes.
So you were able to have big shows all through the summer.
Big banger Dynamite.
Yeah, but now you got Forbidden Door, right? And then you go straight into All In, and then 2 weeks after that, All Out. So when Dynamite is not like the amazing throwaway, amazing show that you're used to, the pay-per-view schedules probably have something to do with that.
Yes, so.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but.
Yeah, it's just like. I still think it's a good show. I think it's a great show. It's just not on the level that we used to get at times.
Right. No, 1,000%. But that is it for AEW Dynamite. Real quick, we'll preview what we got coming up for Collision and Rampage. We're going to have a TNT Eliminator match, and it's a no-holds barred, actually. Well, I'm sorry, I should say everyone barred from ringside, I should say, between Konosuke Takeshita and Penta El Zero Miedo. So that's an Eliminator match for the TNT Championship for who will be in the ladder match.
If Takeshita doesn't win the TNT title, I riot.
There you go. There you go.
I'm just rioting.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. By riot, that means get on this and whine.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to whine when they give it to Jack Perry. So.
Yeah, dude.
And then we have an eliminator match.
The weird thing is, I really did just want them to give it to Jack Perry. It would have been such a heel move.
You just wanted it just to see my meltdown.
I don't know. No. It's just such a heel move that he just got something handed to him, and then he talks about how hard he worked to become TNT champion.
And then again,
that would have worked to everybody.
It's like I'm okay with that with the FTW championship because the way that Jericho's kind of taken the belt and like brought it down to his level and all that kind of stuff, and the way that title is not what it was originally like proclaimed to be as. That's great. But then you do that with the TNT championship. Congratulations, Christian Cage, Adam Copeland. All the work you did to make that title matter is gone. Because they gave it to a child.
I think it actually elevates it because he comes in and does all the dastardly and terrible shit to keep the title that you're not used to seeing with the title. And then when you finally build up the guy to beat him, they're going to be like over like fucking amazingly.
You say that, I say it would. If they truly did just stick with that, I would have said that belt is ruined.
Belt is ruined.
Yes. Ruined. Soiled it.
I need a video audio of Stewie saying ruined because he's from Family Guy because he says it so weird. That's what I needed right there. Like ruined.
So yeah, Konosuke Takeshita and Penta will face to see who will be in the ladder match for the TNT Championship. We have an eliminator match for the AEW Women's World Championship between Timeless Toni Storm and Viva Vaughn. And then we have Rey Fenix facing Isaiah Cassidy. Kyle O'Reilly will be in action, and Satnam Singh will be in action. And this Rampage will be on at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Special start time because of, I believe it's because of the
hockey.
It's either the Stanley Cup playoffs or it's Stanley Cup playoffs.
I was gonna say it can't be the NBA.
Can't be the NBA because that's on ESPN. Yeah. Now that we have the finals, and and then the only thing we got announced for a Collision is that we're going to get a match between, make sure I got this right. We got a match between Will Ospreay and Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International Championship on Collision this Sunday. Well, actually, it was taped on Thursday. It'll air on Saturday. And then we have one last thing, which is on Dynamite next week. They announced that we're going to get Saraya versus Mariah May.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. I think my boy Will Ospreay can drag Kyle O'Reilly to a great match. And then Mariah May, anytime she's on my TV, it makes me happy.
Makes me very, very happy.
And,
that's everything we have with that. And then there's only one piece of news that we want to touch on.
Yes.
Continue on.
So the AEW TV deal, there had been a rumor, Twitter, stuff like that Tony Khan wasn't happy with the AEW TV deal. It came out on Twitter. It came out on Twitter on Monday. I think by the end of Monday, AEW had put out that they didn't have any problem with it. They weren't unhappy with the TV deal. But there is a deal there, and the idea, the guy that wrote it, and I'm having a problem remembering the name. I should have wrote it down. But he's an industry insider. He has nothing to do with wrestling, right? He's an industry insider. He watches wrestling, but he was just reporting as an industry insider. So he wasn't like trying to be like, oh, the sky is falling either way. He was just reporting the news, right? And it looks like he's kind of reporting that it looks like because of the NBA losing TNT, he's saying basically don't drop the ball with AEW. That's what he's saying, to make sure the AEW deal gets done. So it looks like a deal is kind of going to happen. It's just getting the numbers out there. I don't, I personally, the exclusive thing goes away in July. I hope AEW gets locked down before then or whatever, and they get a deal that makes them, stick around for a long time. We don't play the business side and the money side a lot here, except how they can make more of it. But I just thought, since it was such a big deal on early in the week, that I should bring it up. But it looks like it's much ado about nothing. They're still negotiating. TK, it was on Busted Open, and he was on Rich Eisen. He's pretty much opening to do whatever they need to do to get the contract deal, to get as much money as they can. That's what it sounds like. We're like open for business. If you want a 3-hour show every week, done. You want this done? Done. You want the pay-per-view done? Done. That's all great, but pay us. That's how Tony Khan. I'm speaking as Tony Khan. I am not pretty a part much, of AEW. He just
you want my neck brace from when I got TK Driver. You want it signed and donated? Here you go.
Yeah.
Give us the TV deal.
Yeah, he wants that bag for his company, because the second TV deal shuts up a lot of people. They're not going to shut up, but it's going to get to the point where they're just going to be talking to a wall, because people aren't going to have a reason to pay attention to them anymore.
So that's pretty much it with that. But
that's it.
With that, that's going to do it on this episode of All Things Elite. Guys, thank you so much for sticking with us for not only our Double or Nothing review, but for our AEW Dynamite look through and all the coverage of AEW stuff. Appreciate you guys making us the longest running AEW fan podcast ever. We thank you so much. And we want to make sure you guys continue to support us. Yeah.
Did you see the shoe title belt?
I did see that. Yes.
Yes, I am.
And that's I have my shoes. I have tried them on, and they are very comfortable, I will say.
Yes.
I've never owned a pair of Reebok pumps. I've seen Reebok pumps when Cena had them, and I always was like, what the fuck is up with the pumps? And I, of course, never grew up with that era of like shoes. But they're comfy. And I like the fact that, like, I will say too, from owning them, I like the fact that they have, the Young Bucks obnoxious, multicolored pastel garbage, but it's very minor. Most of the shoe is black. And they even come with multicolored shoelaces, which I like as an option, but I think the all black fits really well for the most part, and then having the color like insinuating on it is a nice touch, and they're very comfortable. And I made the joke, literally, I was like, lovely shoes, but there's shit marks on the back of them, and it's the Young Bucks logo. And ironically, those AEW championship like belt sleeves that they would put on the back of the shoe would cover that up.
Yeah, that's funny.
It doesn't seem practical to me, but it's cool looking.
Yes, I have AEW shoes, so you know what's going to go on the AEW shoes now?
I was going to say, you could just get those for your basic AEW shoes.
Yeah, and then have the belt around them, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool. Like I said, I don't see the practicality of them. Maybe because I'm always concerned that they're going to fall off. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as long as they stay on and everything like that, it's a nice little addition, though. But I do like my Young Bucks shoes. And they're very comfortable, I will say. I was curious about how they were going to...
I honestly didn't think you were going to... I didn't think you were going to wear them. I thought you were going to just find someone to sell them to, honestly.
Nah. I was just like, why not? Might as well. If they're comfy and I can wear them, I'll wear them.
Yeah, so Sydney was going up to the mall, and JR...
She told me about how they were like, you wear 9.5?
That's funny. I didn't...
Like, no.
No, she was going to the mall. What I was going to say is I went with JR, and later on, she was like, we thought you were going to come. I was like, I would have bought the shoes. And I don't want the shoes, but I would have bought the shoes. So I didn't want to buy shoes that I didn't want. So it was avoidance. That has literally been my money-saving strategy lately.
Yeah, if you don't want something, just don't go to it.
Yeah, don't just avoid it. Because I know if I was there and they'd be like, oh, you can meet the Young Bucks if you get this signed, I would have got them signed, and then I would have had another pair of $100 shoes just sitting up in my closet, which it's like I have a lot. So I decided not to do that.
Cine is the one that is keeping the signed box, like the shoe box, basically. What is very funny though is like they do sign their names now fully outwards, which I know makes their signature way harder now that they have to sign their full God-given names. Which is also, I will say, very funny how CD was called out, and then he's like, "You will call me by my God-given name, Christopher." Nice little callback, I will say. I forgot to mention that from Dynamite, but just popped in my head, and I wanted to mention it. So, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in to All Things Elite. Be sure to download this fine show and continue to download this show wherever you get your podcasts: YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever the case may be. And then give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish, and rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out everything else, all the shows they have on their network. And I am at Austin Szumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. And Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Hope you guys had a good time watching Double or Nothing. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. And I will pass it off to Floyd so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
Little advertisement again. I was on the AEW match guide with Sir Sam and the Imp, and it has not come out yet, but I will be sharing it. But look forward to it, discussing the top 10 matches in it. So halfway through the show, and I'm hoping no one notices, I got really tired. I had been up like a lot of hours, and I felt like I was repeating myself a lot. And it was like after the show, I was like, dude, can we do that? I just felt like, dude, can we do that show again? I was so tired. And it's, I don't know if y'all understand this, where you feel like you're fine, and then it hits you out of nowhere. Like one of them were talking, and it was like, and I was paying attention, and then I was gone. And then the next thing I knew, they were calling my name. It was like, oh, I think I'm more tired than I thought. So, no, I hope y'all enjoy that show. It's going to be fun. We talk about all the matches. So, maybe some matches you haven't heard from in a while. Sir Sam is the man, but I did want to throw that out there to get you prepared for that. For when we post it, we will share it out from the AT Elite Pod site. And again, we want to thank you all for listening. We are about to come into the greatest month of all time, my birth month, June babies unite, Gemini power. Here we come. So I will be throwing out some links if y'all want to send me some money. You don't have to, but if you want to, I'm not going to say no to it. I'm not, it's just going to be a great time. Looking forward to everything we got coming up. Forbidden Door, all the wrestling, the Arlington stay for Collision. It's going to be amazing. Thank you all for listening, and I will leave you how I always leave you, whether it is home, work, or school. Always do your best to be elite.